Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Gamestack Podcast right here on We Just Love Games Network. This is episode 102, It Takes Two to Tango. I am your host, Vendertron. Joining me this evening is Rick McVick.
Hello, everybody.
And also the wonderful Shalene. Hello.
Hello.
How are you guys doing? Sorry.
Pretty good.
Why am I yelling? How's
Loud noises!
Loud noises!
It's, good. It's Christmas time, kind of. And, yeah, doing some antiquing tomorrow. Try to find some Christmas, antique Christmas decorations.
Really?
I want a color wheel. I really want an antique color wheel. That would make my happiness.
What is an antique color wheel?
Well, it's in the Fallout 76. It's that wheel that sits down, little spinny disc, and it like shines colors and it changes.
Oh, okay.
There's a light and a lamp that projects light, and then there's a disc that spins and it projects the color.
Roger.
They look really nice with aluminum trees. Yeah.
Have you got an aluminum tree?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
No, we get real ones.
Yeah, I have a penchant for old decorations, like nostalgic decorations. When I was in Arizona last time in Phoenix, I picked up this old ornament that is a Betty Boop, and she's got a little Santa outfit on, and it's like a glass
How cute.
blown Betty Boop. Yeah, it's really cool.
Did your grandparents ever have the little window? It's a thing that sat in the window, and it was like oil and water, and as the base heated up, it was a light, but as the base heated up, the water and like oil would bubble around like a little bit of a lava lamp. I love those. They're so unsafe, but I love those. You remember when people were like, let's put candles in a pine tree?
Yeah, let's put candles in a tree and let it sit in our house for a month and not water it. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, welcome to December, everybody. If you're joining us live this evening, happy Friday to you. Get your snacks, get your drinks, get your favorite pajama bottoms on, and hold on because we got a show for you tonight. And
So, wait. Before we went live, you were going to tell us a story about a mouse, but then we had to start the podcast.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So
Okay.
I want to hear about this
That's
mouse.
true.
Okay, so you're not going to believe this. Okay,
Try me.
we've got some mice. I have declared war on the mice. It's winter here now, and it's cold, so the mice have sort of wandered into the house. We don't know how they're getting in. It's been a couple of years that we've had this issue, but they always come in when it gets cold. Anyways, so over the last 2 weeks, I've caught 2 mice, both males, thank goodness. And
You checked?
yeah, well, I mean, you might be forgetting, Shalene, but I've worked with mice for 10 years, breeding them and working with them.
Oh, that's true.
So I can tell whether or not it's a male or a female just by seeing it scurry across the floor.
Okay.
But anyways, so I caught the 2 mice, and then I knew that there was a third one because I could still hear him, and I just couldn't catch him. And about a week ago, in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m., I heard this like scritching on the landing. We have wall-to-wall shelving on the landing, and that's where we keep like extra food. Like it's our pantry
Like
overflow.
a pantry.
It's the pantry overflow.
Yeah.
But most of the food on the shelf is in hard containers, soup cans, preserves, things like that mice can't get into, But we did have this bag of basmati rice. And it was like one of those hard plastic.
Oh, they love rice, dude.
Hard plastic rice bags.
Yeah, they love
and
rice.
I thought, I flew out of bed and I ran up to the landing and the scratching stopped. And I was like, well, maybe I heard something. Maybe I'm just going crazy. So I took the bag of basmati rice because I didn't want him to get into it if he was in that area. And I put it in a Tupperware hard plastic container that we normally put our rice in. But for whatever reason, we had this bag set aside. Anyways, I go back to bed. Week goes by, and I'm at the store yesterday, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. We're out of jasmine rice. Jasmine is what we normally eat. So
I have a strong suspicion that I
Best
know where
rice
this
ever.
story is going.
So I get home with the rice.
I'm nervous.
I get home with the rice, and I'm making the chili, and the rice is sitting there in the kitchen, and I'm like, I get everything, do the dishes, and I'm like, okay. So I grab we have another empty container in the cupboard that was also had to be filled. So I filled that one up with rice. I go down to the landing, I grab the other container, I bring it upstairs, I open it up, and the stench of death wafts into my face.
Oh no, he was in the bag of rice.
He was in the bag of basmati.
And you suffocated the poor little
3
guy to
a.m. in
death.
the morning. I put the mouse with the bag in the container, and he suffocated, and he was in there for a week.
Oh no.
I would have taken that whole Tupperware container, closed it, walked it
Yeah,
outside, and garbage.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
So I bleached the hell out of that and the surface on the counter, and I bagged it and I threw it in the garbage, and we got a new container for the rice. But mouse gone. We have no more mice.
Yeah.
So that's the story of
That's like when I found one in a...
Also,
Do
R.I.P.
you guys
little
remember mine?
mouse. What a way to go.
I mean, yeah. I'm just glad that
You
all
remember
three of
my
them were
epic battle
male
against
because
the mice?
yes, I remember when you were
Yes.
declared war.
Yeah,
on
because I had a whole family. Yeah. Yeah. Well, see, you were probably nicer. You didn't use those glue traps.
Oh no, I've
I
got
hate
them
the
all
glue
over the
traps.
house.
That's all.
I hate the glue traps.
I've got
Glue?
The glue traps are evil.
I've got the glue traps. I've got the snap
Yes!
traps. I've got electric traps, and I also have that new bucket
Electric?
system. Oh yeah, like they go in and they get electrocuted.
With like a bucket, like a stick and a cheese thing that like you pull the thing out and the bucket falls, like that old school thing?
No, it's actually a ramp that goes up, and then there's
And then
like
they fall in the
there's a
bucket.
little diving board, and
Oh,
on the
they
tip of
fall
the
in.
diving board,
Oh,
I put
yeah,
some
yeah.
peanut butter, and then it falls in. So
Yeah,
that is actually the
glue
least
traps
effective.
I
are
tried to use
evil.
the...
Stop
they
using
are,
the
but
glue
it was
traps.
the only thing that worked.
Yeah,
I don't
It was the
care.
only
Never
thing that
use them
works.
again.
So you would rather
yeah.
have a mouse infestation than use glue traps?
I would rather use another way to catch the mouse than glue traps.
You would rather have a mouse infestation than glue traps?
Yes.
I could not find anything that worked. Like I had classic snap traps. I had the covered like humane catch cage ones, and the mice. The problem was they were babies, which makes this not any better. But they weren't heavy enough to set the snap traps off.
Right. Yeah.
So,
But
Yeah,
the
with
other
the
thing
glue
is what were
ones,
you
like-
using on the what were you
You
using on the
can't
traps?
set them free on the glue ones. You can't let them go.
well, I mean,
Like their little
you
feet
could,
come
you
off.
could put them outside.
Their little feet come off.
You could put them
So
outside.
then what? You have to club them like to death or
No,
what?
you
What
just-
do you do?
You just
I just-
decapitate them.
I put them in a
Yeah.
bag. And I just
It's
I just
awful.
put them in a bag and
No,
put them
I
in the
hate
trash.
this. Move on.
Anyways,
oh sheesh.
for those of you out there also dealing with mice in your house, don't forget they love stinky foods, except cheese for some reason. Oddly enough, common
Why do they
misnomer.
like rice? Rice
The
isn't even
best
stinky.
thing to put on a trap for a mouse is peanut butter and then like crushed up walnuts.
Yep.
Crushed up walnuts
Ooh,
or
that's
maybe some bacon. Bacon
sounds
works really well.
delicious.
Oh. Anyways,
One of these days we're gonna like see Shalene with a trap on her tongue, like and we're like, Shalene, come on. Yeah, I tried to use the mouse thing to like justify getting a cat, but I feel like my Jack Russell would tear the cat to pieces. And it would end up like that Looney Tunes cartoon where like Daffy Duck has Porky Pig in the hotel room and he releases a mouse. And he's like, well, for $5 I'll get you a cat. And the cat's annoying him. So he's like, well, for $10 I'll get you a dog. And then like it keeps going up.
yeah, if you've
feel like
if you've
that's how it
got
would be.
if you've got any grains in your house, you need to put that stuff in hard containers because they just like they go all over it. But anyways, we do have a show to do tonight. Happy Friday, welcome in. If you're listening live, host us right now on Twitch or hit the follow button. If you are here and new for the first time, tell your friends about the show. The show is sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. If you go to oakandcrow.com and you click on the artist coffee blend page, scroll down to the bottom, you will find We Just Love Coffee Blend. That is our artisan blend, and $2 from every bag of beans goes to the Children's Miracle Network. Rick, would you like to take our next sponsorship? Oh.
Yes, I would. No, we're fine. It's my little switch here. I just forgot that I was muted. Anyway, support also for We Just Love Games is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in below the waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. That's right, the 4.0. Don't know what the difference is between the other ones because I just got into the Manscaped Club this year. Join over 4 million men and women worldwide who trust Manscaped. With this exclusive offer for you, folks at home listening, 20% off and free worldwide shipping with code WJLG. Now, if your gentleman sausage is a bit fuzzy, you could use this with the little guards that are attached and trim it on up. And it's got it's got skin safe technology, so you reduce the little nip-nips that you would usually get if you use a traditional razor or scissors. I don't know if anybody's ever used scissors. But anyway, it's also, this little trimmer is waterproof. It's got a light on it.
I don't know about you, but I like to use my bow knife.
Oh, gosh. Straight razor them things, man.
Oh, no.
It's like John's over there doing a straight razor. Oh, he's a eunuch now. Anyway. It's also got wireless charging adapters for it. I personally use the Manscaped on the faces and the sideburns because it works really well for them. And you can rinse it off, so it goes everywhere. It's like what's something that goes everywhere? I don't know. It's like something that goes everywhere. But anyway, I do genuinely like it. It comes with ceramic blades and 2 attachments that have 2 adjustable slides each. So you get like 4 different sizes that like you can go from like, 70s down to now with your length. Anyway.
So Rick, if I lived outside of the US and I was thinking, geez, it's probably going to cost a lot to order something from the Manscaped website, how would I go about doing that? Do I have to worry about that?
Look, no, you don't, because all you have to do is go to manscaped.com, use our code WJLG, and you get 20% off your order and free shipping worldwide.
Oh.
So that's manscaped.com, use code WJLG. Yeah, I think so. That's what it says right here.
It is. Me. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was trying to support the
oh, I see.
You're
great. Doing like that, like, yeah. Anyway,
we were doing a thing. So, anyways, Manscaped is great. Yeah. I just got the plow by the way, which is, if you don't know, is the single blade razor. The single blade razor.
Oh, they have does it take the standard safety razor?
It does. It does.
Safety razors.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, it's
so I use
with
the
your
Van
20%.
Housen.
With your 20%, you can get it for I think $41 Canadian, which is like $12 American.
That's not bad.
So
it is, yeah. That's free American.
It's actually negative dollars, but they give you money back. No, just kidding. Not really.
What was I gonna say? I use the Van Heusen safety razor that came from Walmart just to try it, and I cut myself every time I use it.
It's awful.
I'll have to try that out.
Yeah, check it out. It's rather weighty. I like it. Yeah, it's good. But we do have to move on with the show.
Though, because you're not supposed to press with it.
Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah. Shalene, would you like to introduce the community to our new members that have wandered in aimlessly to the Discord?
Pardon?
The Discord people. Who do we have in the Discord?
Yes, we have some lovely new folks in our Discord. We've got MJ Brown 3, SPJ 83, Gontrop, and Eligos the Adventurer.
Oh.
Welcome all of you to the Discord. And if you would like to join our Discord, just like these 4 wonderful people did, you can do so by clicking the Discord link on our Twitch page. That is live even when the channel is not. You can always find that link here. Alternately, you can just shoot any of us a message on social media and we'll send you a link.
The other thing I would like to share is that Discord has a new feature now. There is events.
Oh, yeah?
So if you, Rick, are planning on reviving your radio show, you can create an event that people can express interest in joining, and then there's a little notification in the Discord when it's happening. So if you go into our Discord right now, it'll show you that the podcast is currently live, and it provides you the link of where to go. So that's a nice feature I thought is really cool.
Nice.
So we do have some news. We have some gameplay that we need to get through this evening, as well as Gamestock. I have a short game science segment, and then Shalene's going to take us through that Fallout segment. But first, this just in. So you guys like the Stack Awards, right? Are you looking forward to the Stack Awards?
Every year, it's one of my favorite
I am.
shows that we do.
Well, of course, we can't do the Stack Awards without first having learned and listened to the Game Awards, because most of the show is based on that. The Game Awards 2021 will be live Thursday, December 9 from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific time. And I don't have a link for you yet on where that can be broadcasted or streamed, but keep an eye out because that will be coming in the coming days. But yeah, are you going to catch some of the Game Awards? Either of you?
Probably not. Like I usually try
I'm
to,
sure.
but I haven't. I just life, guys, life. So probably I
Okay.
won't.
Okay. Well, life's a thing, you know. Yeah.
All right.
Right.
I'm sure I'll have it up.
Rick, do you want to take us through the PlayStation Plus games before we head on into some more news?
Yeah, they were announced, and we have got some free games for PlayStation Plus. Now, last week we talked about the free games for Prime, Xbox, and also the new games that are coming out in December. But we have some games coming out for the PlayStation Plus members. All right, we have Godfall: Challenger Edition for the PS5 and PS4, Lego DC Super Villains for PlayStation 4, Mortal Shell for PlayStation 4, and some PSVR games are coming. The Persistence and Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners Dash Standard Edition. Also, Until You Fall is coming to the PlayStation VR for free. So there you go. Those are the free games this month. And I mean, in competing the Xbox with gold and whatnot, this is kind of light. It's not a very strong showcase of games that you get for free. So sorry, guys. They're available from December 7th until January 3rd.
And if you're listening after the fact, waiting for us to go through the December releases, we covered that in the last episode of Gamestack. So if you may have missed episode 101, be sure to check back on that, where we also had the guest, Jessica Starr, join us. Yeah, so check the previous episode for December's list of new games. So a new bill has been introduced into Congress. Lawmakers in the United States have revealed a new bill intended to curb scalping of high-demand goods in the gaming industry. It's called the Stopping Grinch Bots Act, named after the festive Dr. Seuss antagonist, and it aims to stop scalpers using bots to quickly purchase items that are in demand to be sold for higher prices. Yeah. The purpose of the bill, of course, is to create a more
God.
level playing field, so everyone has a fair chance of buying popular products like the PlayStation 5, etc. And it doesn't specifically focus on video game hardware. Both the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, as you know, has experienced significant shortages since the respective launches last year, all due to scalping. But the act specifically looks at a proposal that was previously made in 2016, focusing on stopping scalpers purchasing tickets for live events to be resold for higher prices. And that act was called the Better Online Ticket Sales Act, or the BOTS Act. The issue is that, you know, these third-party sellers, they use bots, basically, to bypass certain security measures on online sales systems to buy toys, leading to, you know, a supply and demand issue and shortages in supply chains.
So, are you telling me that the bots have learned how to defeat the CAPTCHA?
Yeah.
And I Humanity's no longer safe.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have no way to know
Oops.
who is and isn't a human.
The bots don't just squeeze consumers, though, Shalene. They pose a huge problem for small businesses and local retailers as well, because they're trying to ensure that they have the best items in stock for their customers, and they can't do that even if they can't get a supply of it, right? A similar bill was introduced in the UK earlier this year by the Scottish National Party MP Douglas Chapman, and this followed the early day motion, which was discussed last December, seeking out a prohibition of resale of consoles at prices greatly above the manufacturer's recommended retail price. Now, Microsoft itself has tried to address this issue of scalping, and they launched the console purchase pilot back in May, which gave consumers the chance to upgrade an Xbox Series X or a Series S via the company's insider program. So, I mean, just a reminder, and Joseph Tao, thank you for compiling our news. Joseph Tao did comment on this article saying, that this is really just a bill that is being introduced. It's not necessarily passed yet, so there is no definitive action on whether or not this will actually take place. But I do hope that it gains some traction, because I think there's a lot of people that, they want to buy a new gaming console and they can't do that. So, yeah. Do you guys have any other comments about that?
No, I think it's a good thing because I'd like to buy a PS5 someday before the new God of War comes out. And maybe this would help me have a better chance ever getting a PS5.
Mm-hmm.
I've been trying for months.
I haven't. I need a new computer, really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no desire to get a PlayStation or a Xbox because of all the scalping.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, and the bill would also address graphics card issues as well, I believe.
Oh, nice.
So,
yeah.
Oh, well, then I'm all for the bill.
Yeah.
Does anybody, whenever the idea of a bill comes up, a legal bill, I always think that Schoolhouse Rock.
Yes,
I'm just a bill. I'm only a bill. But I'll be a loss someday.
Yeah.
That's where my head went to as well. It's strange that politicians are doing this rather than like the companies trying to make sure that their products aren't scalped. But I mean, I guess either way they're getting paid, so why should they care, I guess?
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, I think a lot of what happens in politics in most countries is not driven by the needs and wants of society, but more so the pockets of the people creating the bills. So, but
it's just weird that a bill would be introduced to curb this when it really is just a consumer problem.
mm-hmm.
So, but maybe I don't know.
On the subject of equality and caring for the needs and wants of societies, Nintendo has updated its policies to increase a push for equity, diversity, and inclusion within its company. The platform holder says that women make up 4% of managerial staff in Japan, almost 24% globally. And today, this article comes from Jeffrey Russo. Thank you, Jeffrey, from GameIndustry.biz. And he talks about how Nintendo has released an update to their corporate governance report that details increased efforts on diversity specifically. The platform holder said that it's recruiting women and creating an environment in which women can build successful careers. They did add that it doesn't have any specific targets for the appointment of women or foreign nationals to its managerial ranks, but as of March 31st, 2021, women represented 23.7% of Nintendo's managerial staff globally and 4.2% in Japan. The company said, as a global company engaging in the entertainment business, which is characterized by increasingly diversifying customer needs and preferences, it is essential that we leverage the talents of a diverse workforce. And so they're updating these policies to sort of address the issues of diversity, not only within the company, but to be an industry leader in providing equity, diversity, inclusion across the gaming industry. So, yeah, I think this is a great thing. You know, it's a step in the right direction, especially because we're seeing so much, so many issues in companies in the gaming industry, like Activision, for example, and the recent sort of issues there. But yeah, what do you guys think?
One of the things that I thought was really good is it feels a lot more organic than like a policy like we're gonna have like 40% of our women, or workers be women, where it's like they're almost pushing a target quota and they're hiring regardless of if the person's a good fit or not. So I feel like this is a good organic move where they're like, look, we want to do this from and plus it's really good to, I would think, have representation. I mean, if my daughter sees, even her mom, who is, a development lead of a team, that's like someone in a position of what's the word I'm looking for? Authority. Or something? So,
leadership.
Yeah. So like
leadership.
Yeah, leadership. So like there's like, oh, I can do that too. So that the optics of that are really good too, I think. So I'm all for it.
Well, I think this is a scenario where Nintendo has said, look, this is what we've done so far, but we could do better. And we acknowledge that. And we want to make sure that we can work with people within our company to make sure that that happens and that these issues are addressed.
What are your thoughts, Shalene? She was making faces.
Oh.
So during this article reading, correct me if I'm wrong, did you say that in Japan management was 4.2% women?
That's for Nintendo specifically.
Yeah. That's pathetic. Hire some women.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Okay. I mean, that's exactly it. I think
that's
this
pathetic.
But we have to acknowledge that they're acknowledging it at all.
Mm-hmm.
How many other companies out there in the gaming industry are just like giving the side eye, like, we're also like that, but we're not going to say anything because it's bad press.
Well, I mean, about half the people in the world are women. And 4.2%, really?
I mean, well, correct me if I'm wrong, internet, but isn't Japan historically like a masculine like culture? So I mean, it kind of makes sense that number is low, because for centuries they don't have that sort of like role model, really. Like, I would think that has something to play with it. So I'm at least glad that they're starting to change it. But yeah, 4.2. See, when I thought he said it, I thought that was like
women.
When I thought he said
women.
4.2, I thought it was like in all of Japan, which I thought was very small. Very
I think,
number.
absolutely we should hold them accountable.
We have Jill. She's the manager of the custodians. That's the 4%, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
It's likely that 4.2% of the management of Nintendo Japan is maybe one or two women.
Probably.
I mean, yeah, they're like, Jill? Jill?
You're your stinking soundboard.
I do agree with you, though, Shalene. Yeah.
It's a culture shift, and it's definitely changing, and I'm glad that it is.
Yeah. This is something that we've talked about before on previous episodes, and I'm glad that they're acknowledging it. But yes, you're right; they do need to do some work.
I like Shalene's policy. Just slides that across the desk as a memo. Hire women. Okay.
I mean, I solved their problem. I'll even give you that for free, Nintendo. You don't have to pay me.
Well, couldn't they pay you in Animal Crossing hats?
They could. Yes. I will accept Animal Crossing hats.
Okay. You guys, how do you...
You got nothing.
Steam
the deck's
Deck
been stacked against you.
You guys have heard of Steam Deck, right?
I handed you
That was
the
so
segue
good.
on
That
a
was
silver
so
platter
good.
vendor.
But you don't understand. The audio is mismatched.
It's
So I missed you were saying it, but I didn't hear it until I already
yeah,
started talking.
What is that god awful looking thing?
All right, so here we go. Steam Deck might have some competition. Qualcomm and Razer have teamed up to create a portable console that can stream from multiple different platforms. The thing is about as long as a canoe. And it really puts Valve in competition 5 months after they announced the release of their Steam Deck. This new challenger has entered the console market. The chip manufacturer Qualcomm partnered with gaming hardware community Razer to produce what is called the Snapdragon G3X, a streamer-friendly console that can play games across PC, mobile, consoles, and the cloud. This article comes to us from Kotaku by CC Jiang, so thank you, CC. The hardware in this in this stream, or this, I don't want to call it a Stream Deck because that's proprietary. The hardware in the Snapdragon, they said, is still heavily in the development phase. But we're still waiting on more details about how the other how it's going to perform. What we do know is that the device features a 6.65-inch OLED screen, which puts it just slightly below the size of the Stream Deck, but a little bit larger than the original Nintendo Switch model. The OLED Switch screen is 7 inches, but the Snapdragon will include a camera and 2 different microphones, a feature meant to cater to players who want to stream their games. For comparison, the Steam Deck has a microphone for multiplayer, but not a camera. The Snapdragon can run games at 144 frames per second. Steam Deck runs AAA games at 60 frames per second on medium settings.
So, who cares if you've got 144 FPS on a 6.6-inch screen? And what streamer is gonna think, "Oh, there's my solution to stream with"? Like, they're not. They're
I think
targeting
they
people
mean
who don't exist.
streaming, not as in terms of I'm going to stream this on Twitch, but in terms of I'm not going to download and install this game. I'm going to stream it to
But
my device.
but why include the camera then? If they keep saying a streamer-friendly console that can play across PC, mobile, consoles, and the
Oh, so maybe
cloud,
that is
and
what they
have a
mean.
that's what I think they mean. Also, Jack and Rose would have survived if this was floating alongside them. That's how big this thing
Right?
is.
Right?
So for you,
It
those
is.
of you listening, it's like if you took an Xbox One controller and stretched it and then plopped a screen in the middle.
That's pretty much
That's
it.
exactly what it looks like. It's
It-
hideous.
Yeah, like that's what's gonna kill this. It just looks like Sega made it, Like when
Yeah.
I turn it on, it should go Sega, and
Honestly,
yeah,
I think we're
okay.
looking at another Stadia, to be honest with you.
Yeah. This is. I don't think this is gonna catch on.
The console is meant to stream games from other devices. The chip manufacturer Qualcomm said it's looking for developers to create content for the platform. Good luck with that. But as for its offer, the senior product director, Micah Knapp, emphasized that Qualcomm had the expertise to reduce throttling and overheating on handheld devices. So I guess that's a plus.
What this is, though, I think, is a step in the right direction for the technology development. Not so much the device itself, but the hardware that will come from this failed thing will then go into the next thing that will probably be a success, whatever that may be. Because what the Switch started with the platform, and you can pick it up and you play your game handheld and stick it in and play on your TV, I think is a fantastic option for a lot of people. I just don't see this being that solution. Who's you gonna be in a subway and stream? Oh, this is hilarious.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
The Micah Knapp said gamers follow content. Once the pipeline is primed, the manufacturers can come in and create the gaming hardware for consumers to enjoy. But I think that they're kind of missing the mark here. I feel like this is just an entry into the hardware space that tries to follow suit with what other manufacturers are trying to do. I think Nintendo still holds the lead on that in terms of mobile gaming consoles, but
Yeah, I think this is for a market that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
I
I
think
think the
that's a
hard
fair assessment.
Yeah, but I think the hardware that's going to come out of it is going to go into the thing that is popular, or at least it's going to start here with that. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool, though. Good performance ratings, it sounds like.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I mean,
Anyway,
it certainly looks a lot different. Like it's not like Valve's going to sue them or anything.
no, Xbox might. I mean, with hijacking that look,
Yeah.
you know.
Speaking of lawsuits, It Takes Two, the latest game from brothers A Two Sons, Joseph Ferris, has been hit by a trademark claim from Grand Theft Auto parent company
What?
Take Two.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh.
This article is in Eurogamer.net by Tom Phillips. So the co-op puzzler about a pair of divorcing parents was struck by a trademark claim before it released earlier this year. It has emerged. Um, Records show that the developer, Hazelight, subsequently abandoned ownership of the name very swiftly. And in a statement to Eurogamer this week, the Hazelight spokesperson said that they could not comment on any disputes, but the team was hopeful it will be resolved swiftly. Shalene and we've been playing through It Takes Two. Fantastic, fantastic game.
So good.
The interesting thing is that Hazelight Studio did not dispute that it had been forced to abandon the trademark to its game because of Take Two. And I think it's kind of interesting because yeah, you're right. Like, eh.
No, no. This has. I don't know if anyone ever is going to look at this like indie co-op of parents divorcing and go, "Yeah, Grand Theft Auto. That's who made this."
Hmm. It's. I'm reminded of the time that Bethesda sued for that Scrolls game from Notch.
I don't remember
Notch made a
that.
game called Scrolls, and
And they
Bethesda
sued.
sued because it was too close to the Elder Scrolls.
Nobody owns
Um,
the name Scrolls.
well, apparently Bethesda does because they won the lawsuit. And that's really similar to what's happening here. Take Two feels like this is close enough to their own trademark for Take Two as a video game property that they feel the need to protect that, because if they don't, then it sets a precedent that they are not protecting their trademark. Um, it still seems like a jerk move to me. Like I understand their motivation in wanting to show that they are defending their trademark, because if there is a precedent of them not doing it, they may lose a more important case at some point down the line because of that precedent. But it still seems like such a jerk move for this indie game. You know, this doesn't prevent them from using the name, but it does prevent them from trademarking it. So
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I thought that like I was curious like what was next, or like is like Marvin Gaye gonna go after Take Two, or is like Take Two gonna take after Marvin Gaye, because I mean the song It Takes Two has the same title as this
mhm.
game, so
Well, they are
are
going
they gonna?
after, the U.S. Patent Office has also recorded that Take Two is behind filings contesting numerous different names like Rockstar, Social Club, Mafia, Civilization, um, and trademarks of the brand Star Rocks, which is the name of a clothing brand by Max Fane, different restaurants, tattoo parlors, small businesses that use the word Rockstar in their name. Also, Think Like a Rockstar,
Not the energy drink.
a brand behind music books for live performances, also abandoned its trademark after Take Two's legal claim. Rockstar's Axe Throwing, a Florida based axe throwing company, meanwhile trying to oppose Take Two's trademark grab. Now, Florida would probably be the only place that I would feel that would go up against Take Two and actually think that they have a chance. But we'll leave that for your opinions.
Hey, they're gonna have their own private army now soon, apparently. So
Heh.
nothing.
Okay.
I feel like there's certain things that you don't touch. Like I'm not gonna call a game. I'm not gonna use Bethesda for anything. You know, Rockstar is kind of a touchy one because of that. But like It Takes Two is to me it reminds me more of the song than it does Take Two.
I mean, somebody should just make something and call it Take Three.
I don't know.
Oh dear. It's terrible.
Or take
It's terrible.
200.
It's silly. As long as they can still keep the name. I thought they had to change the name of the actual
They
game.
may change the name. They may choose to change the name, but I don't believe this dispute forces them to change their name. It just prevents them from being able to protect it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, anyways, I think that we've talked about, politics and policy in our news quite enough this week. We do have one last bit of news, and that is that Sea of Thieves has dropped a new update, and boy, is it wicked.
I'm so excited. I'm ready to just end the show and go sail.
First of all, let's roll the trailer.
It's a time for celebration across the Sea of Thieves, as boatloads of new features, quality of life improvements, and shiny new rewards are yours for the taking. So grab your favorite festive treat and prepare to be dazzled as we shine a light on everything new in Sea of Thieves Season 5. The pirate fantasy has always involved uncovering precious caches of buried treasure. But what about those who want to hide their hard-earned loot beneath the sands? Well, now you can. Take any treasure item, and with a few simple digs, you can deposit it in the dirt. Not only that, but burying treasure creates a custom treasure map for the island you buried it on. Quite important if you ever want to dig it back up. You'll also find the new quest board on sea posts and outposts, where you can post your custom treasure maps for other crews. If another crew manages to uncover your hidden booty, the next time you log in, you'll receive the reputation you would have earned for cashing it in, plus a great pile of renown. And if
That's
you're
so
in the mood
fun!
to celebrate, then why not light up the sky with fireworks and flares? The Merchant Alliance have started selling themed firework crates, and there's a vast variety in stock. But it's not all just fancy explosions. Flares can be a useful tool out in your adventures. You could shine a light into the darkness of a mysterious island, or signal to your crew that there's trouble on the horizon.
So if I lose
And
the
for the
boat,
times
you
when
guys
want
can
to
send up a
slow
flare.
down, relax and take a load off.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
You can now engage in the humble practice of sitting. Whether you're regaling your crew with stories of adventures past,
Yeah, you can
watching
actually
the
sit
waves
on the
beneath your
stools
feet
now.
from the gangplank of your ship,
I'm going to be
or
sitting on the
taking your
plank the
rightful
whole time.
place in the captain's chair.
That was my
Uh-oh.
favorite Animal Crossing
There's
update when we
plenty
could
of
sit
ways
down.
to take a seat and unwind. And if you're feeling particularly worn out, nothing helps more than crawling into bed for a quick kip.
Oh,
Sleeping also has the added benefit of replenishing some
Great.
health, though grabbing some shut-eye and shirking your responsibilities isn't likely to go down well with the rest of your crew. Got something to say, but you're worried about who might overhear? Well, turn the speaking trumpet around and you've got the perfect way to scheme in secret. What was once used to project your booming voice across the waves is now a sneaky tool to whisper to those closest to you. And then there's cannon rowboats. That's right, we've strapped
This
a
is what I'm
cannon
excited.
onto
I love
a
that it
rowboat.
goes backwards.
Dock it to your
That's
ship for some
brilliant.
added firepower. Or simply go on the assault as a tiny terror of the sea.
That's gonna be me. I'm gonna be fighting all the
And with the
Krakens
arrival of
in my
Sea of
rowboat
Thieves,
with my
there's
little
another
swivel gun.
100 levels of truly terrific rewards to unlock, which are free to all players. Celebrate the festive season with the Bell Brigade clothing set, mistletoe fishing rod, and snowbound ship lantern. You can also earn the ancient gold flag and sails for your ship. Pirate legends can even get their hands on Merrick's tankard and Grimm's jacket. Perfect for a cold winter night. We have new emissary rewards too, with shiny new weapons and some legendary ship parts. And it's time to hop aboard the party boat and celebrate in style. Completing the commendations in Season 5 will
think
not
they've
only
made that
earn you this
livery for
eye-popping
Shalene.
ship,
Do you see the
but
capstan?
the party boat clothing
Yes.
set, and weapons too. And with Season 5, there's also a new Plunder Pass, available as an optional purchase, where you can unlock the entire Boreal Aurora Collector ship set.
so pretty.
Variations of the creepy
That will be
cold
bought.
costume.
That will be bought.
the Jolly Sand Angel emote, as well as 750 ancient coins.
That's so good.
And over in the Pirate Emporium, we have new items inspired by Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean. Compel all those who gaze upon you to strike their colors with the Captain Barbossa costume. Perfect for those enamored by the legends of his many devious deeds.
Nice little
But what
the
good's a
Stooges Lust for
captain
Life.
without a ship? The Royal Revenge ship set will strike fear into those who spy its flag on the horizon. And the intricate detail of its design reflects the dark history of the ship which inspired it. From horned skulls to its infernal glowing figurehead, dark-hearted pirates will feel right at home. There's also the Royal Revenge weapon set, designed after the whispered legends of a lost undersea city, passed down from pirate to pirate. Shiny, aren't they? We've even got a new canine companion with the mutinous mutt. This dapper dog may seem trustworthy, but is best watched closely if
Look
you
at
have
his little
cursed
beard.
gold aboard your ship. Now you can flaunt your victory and your trusty weapon of choice with this set of audacious Sea Dog weapon pose emotes. And get ready to find your best angle and smile for the camera with the expressive Say Cheese emote button.
Oh, I love it.
But
Still
for
no photo
pirates who
mode.
prefer something a
Yeah.
little more chill, there's a touch of frost in the air with the new Frozen Horizon equipment and instruments.
Ooh,
Very
that's
nice.
pretty.
And finally, here's something to get you in the spirit of the season. The festive tree emote. Yours for free. But that's not all for Season 5. We've got 3 new shanties to play, with the Ballad of the Mare, Row Your Boat, and the Infernal
Row
Gallop.
your boat. It's going to be
Nice.
so good.
That's so great.
There are new rolling dice emotes, free for all players, with a selection of
That's cool.
many-sided dice.
Like,
to
who
choose
wants to
from.
drive?
Oh,
Perfect for
that's
rogues who love to
great.
roleplay. Gun-toting skellies and phantoms will now drop ammo pouches when you meet
Hey,
the red.
there we
So you
go.
can keep blasting till your little heart's
That's
content.
like
wonderful.
You'll now find rats scampering around your
Look
ship.
at that
These
lantern.
little squeakers might be a cute distraction, though it's best to keep an eye on what they're up
Oh my
to.
god.
If they're scurrying away from the lower decks, it may spell trouble down below. And there's more! We've put new markers on Meg and Kraken loot, making it easier to
that's good.
spot amongst the rolling waves. We've also made it quicker and easier to transfer items between storage
Oh,
crates.
thank goodness.
Archon was
With just
really
the
excited
simple
about
press
this.
of a button,
this
Of
you
course
can
he would
now
be.
pilfer
It's
all
like
items
the one thing
Oh,
is like,
look at
and
he
that.
loves looting the
safely in your
island,
crate.
so.
And finally,
Oh, you can quick
if you
loot.
like
That's
me
pretty
and
rad.
you like nothing more than a good chin wag, you'll be pleased to know that your pirate's mouth will now move when you're talking in-game. Though I have to say, I'm a bit worn out after saying all that.
That's
So get
cute.
ready to celebrate the season in style.
That's a
Cozy
hard
up to
implement.
the warming glow of new rewards
Yeah, that's-
and unwrap a whole boatload of festive
Look at
features
those
in
fireworks.
Sea of Thieves Season 5.
Goodness gracious.
Yay!
That's good. That's good.
I can't
fan.
wait.
So,
All right,
what do you guys
That's
think?
the show, folks.
Let's go play.
What do you think? What's your favorite? What do you want to check out? Like, what are your
Ooh,
thoughts?
all of it. All of it
Yeah.
looks so fun. I feel like burying treasure offers some really cool opportunities to create our own fun.
Mhm.
I think that'll be a fun thing to combine with a server takeover. I think we can like make little quests for each other and
Yeah.
scavenger hunts maybe. Oh, it's gonna be so fun. So fun.
There is some stipulations about the buried treasure that they didn't really allude to in the trailer, and that is other people can steal your maps.
Mhm.
And it takes about 10 seconds to steal a map from somebody, or they can just kill you and then take your map.
Gotcha.
You can store your maps, I believe, in the map table, but they can take them from the map table. But I believe that you can also hide your maps somewhere on the island as well. So,
Ooh. You have to get a map to your map.
I think that the fireworks are really cool.
Yeah. that's-
I don't know if you did see, but there are also flares.
yeah, I'm excited for the flares.
The flares are going to be really handy, especially for like trying to distract your enemies. You know, like, look at this shiny thing. Quick, board them. You know, like.
I think it's gonna be really good for when I lose the ship.
Or
Where's
it's
the
gonna be
ship, guys?
really good when we lose you, Shalene. We'll just load you up with flares.
Yes, and
then
I can be like, guys, come find me.
it's the proverbial cat and bell. You know, we can just equip Shalene with some flares and.
You guys, I'm lost.
I don't know if there's any role players out there that role play as like good guys or something, but it would be cool. Like, part of me would think that'd be really cool to, if you had a community like, hey, if I ever see a white flare, you know, it's a ship in distress or something, or a red
Sure.
flare.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be so fun.
Well, I mean,
And
that's a
go help 'em.
callback to the traditional nautical practices in the 17 and 1800s. Like, flares were a common part of the ship's inventory, especially to signal each other in heavy fog and things like that, right?
Yep.
So I do think that the fireworks are going to be a huge thing for alliances
Yeah, I
and
think
planning
so, too.
events, especially like photo ops and stuff like that. For like Octagon Ron, every year she does this annual Armageddon, it's called, and we all spend an entire day collecting powder kegs of every kind, and then we cover an entire island in powder kegs and we blow them to smithereens.
Oof.
Um,
Frame
so
rate 0.
yeah, this is, I think, her 4th annual Armageddon since launch, but so fireworks for that would be really cool. Yeah, I don't know what else. I really like
the cannon rowboat.
The swivel gun. It's so cute. I am just gonna kill everything in that rowboat. Just leave me behind, guys.
So wait, though, is that going to change some of the things about how rowboats work? Like, if you're armed on your rowboat, are you still going to not aggro certain things? Because like last week,
Ooh.
I was rowing through Flameheart's armada, and it was okay because I was in a rowboat. But if I had a cannon rowboat, would I instantly aggro the entire armada
I think there's,
and be taking them on from a rowboat?
I think there's science to be done.
I love it, but I feel like because rowboats take significantly less damage to sink, you probably would lose most battles. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I think
there is an advantage to the rowboat because the cannons on the boats only go so low, right? So if you're beyond cannon shot and you're too close to the boat, they can't hit
You
you,
just
but you
boop,
can
boop,
still
boop.
hit the boat, right?
Absolutely.
So that's, yeah. Anyways,
Nice.
I'm excited to play some Sea of Thieves.
Me too.
Me
I'm
too.
probably going to buy the Aurora Borealis set.
That looks really
that's
rad.
a really
If
pretty
if
one.
I unlock enough levels to get there, then I may buy it. But I'll wait to see how well I do
Yeah.
earning the reputation.
The sad part for me is that I'm going to miss most of this season because I'm going to be
That's
in
right.
California. I won't be able to access my Sea of Thieves. So I'm not going to purchase the Plunder Pass this time around for that reason alone. But that's okay because it's seasonal stuff, really, that you're getting anyways. And I'm more interested in getting some of the new content that's in the Emporium. So, anyways,
Yeah,
I suppose we should move on to our next segment, which is Game Stocks. Rick, did you want to take us through GameStop?
Sure. All right. So we've got Microsoft starting. No, we don't have Microsoft starting it off. I'm scrolled down too much. Sony closed out today at $120.02, and that is down 14 cents. Microsoft closed out at $323.01. That is down $6.48. Nintendo is down by $1.20, closing at $55.80. Take-Two, I guess maybe because of the lawsuit news, is up by $4.40 to close at $165.78. Activision is up by 7 cents to close at $57.36. Ubisoft is down by 83 cents to close at $41.23. EA is up by $2.68. Don't know how that's possible because Battlefield is taking a trouncing. That closed at $125.27, and Tencent is down by $2.95, and they closed at $56.76, and I am down almost 45 bucks. 35 bucks.
Oh, you bought into Take-Two?
No, I bought into crypto.
Oh, well, I mean, hold fast, my friend. Hold fast.
I'm holding.
Hold fast for 2 years at least.
I'm holding. If Shiba coin hits $1 next year,
I should buy in. I think it's time.
I'm retired.
I always have a knack for buying in at the right time, but I feel like with crypto, I'm kind of missing it.
You didn't do that with GameStop.
Yeah, that was way too risky. Diamond Hands was probably more risky than coronavirus. But
anyway, that's it for the stocks. It's just kind of a mixed bag of up and downs.
Well,
life.
Speaking of ups and downs, the last 2 years of living through a global pandemic has certainly played a significant part in our mental health, our physical health, our lives, our livelihoods, and that of our friends and family. I do have a really cool article to share with both of you as part of the Game Science segment for tonight's show. This article was published last year in September, so it is a year old now, but it is talking about the psychology behind video games during the COVID-19 pandemic. And the reason I wanted to share it with you is because it's a case study on Animal Crossing's New Horizons. So
really?
as you know, in the past several months, many of us have been experiencing a lot of, grief and challenges with COVID-19. Sorry, I just have to plug in my iPad here. Animal Crossing's New Horizons is the 5th main series title in the Animal Crossing series, developed by Nintendo for the Nintendo Switch, released in all regions of the world March 20, 2020. As previous installments of Animal Crossing, which Animal Crossing New Horizon is sort of a non-linear life simulation game, played in real time. I'm not entirely sure how it compares to some of the other versions of the game. Shalene, maybe you can comment. But in New Horizons, a player assumes that the role of a customizable character moves to a deserted island to build and expand their home by granting a loan, exploring their surroundings, interacting with various cast of adorable little villagers, catching and collecting things, designing their own outfits, growing their own gardens, etc. And it's very open-ended. It develops into a very community-based, anthropomorphic sort of thing. And there's a lot of social aspects with the game itself, and that's what this paper kind of illustrates. New Horizons has received incredible popularity, and part of it has to do with being out in the right place at the right time. Con 2020 stated in the New York Times that the success has been partially attributed to its release during the COVID-19 pandemic, players seeking a sense of escapism in their self-quarantine at home. They couldn't have done their timing better. And there's sort of this dreamland escape from coronavirus that video games have been able to sort of help us with. And New Horizon players have taken on the role of, being the only human being who lives on an island surrounded by pudgy anthropomorphic animals, right?
They're so cute. The pudginess is part of the charm.
Yeah.
All of the little animals are so pudgy.
And inside the game world, there's no mountains of work. There's no demanding bosses. You don't have any deadlines. You don't have to worry about what tomorrow might bring. You just have to live in this little haven that keeps you away from COVID-19. And so it's a really relaxed environment. I've watched several people stream it and play it. The color schemes of the game are very soft, pastel-y. The sounds and the lighting are also very endearing. And the article talks about the social interaction being a highlight of the game's success and being able to sort of address psychological well-being during the pandemic. And being, again, going back to that thing like being in the right place at the right time, it's really sort of put a heavy stone or lifted that heavy stone that a lot of people have been carrying throughout the pandemic and helped a lot of people cope. Of course, we've talked about it on this show before that video games have always appeared in a relatively negative image in our society. But I think that the pandemic has really sort of illuminated the opportunities and utility that video games can bring to people's lives. And we've covered in previous segments of Game Science how video games have been helping people with mental illness, mental health issues, autism, addiction, learning, for surgery, and, other things like that. So I thought that this was kind of a cool article. It's more of just like a review article, but more than anything. But, New Horizon provides that sort of dreamland escape for players to temporarily sort of escape from the cruelty of reality. But yeah. What do you think about New Horizon, Shalene?
Oh, it's a wonderful little game. I think that's abundantly clear to anybody who's listened to more than one episode of this podcast. I love Animal Crossing. It brings me joy. And my first Animal Crossing experience was with New Leaf, which was the DS iteration of the game. And I was unhealthily obsessed with New Leaf. So I did learn to moderate myself a little better with New Horizons. I limit my playtime to like an hour a day when I play, so that I'm not just neglecting all of my real life duties in favor of my little virtual life, and just blowing off all of my friends.
So what you're saying here,
favor of my
what you're saying here is that there's a fine line between escapism and self-sabotage. Yeah. Okay.
I played Animal Crossing New Leaf in a way that was not healthy, and I have learned to enjoy New Horizons, but also live my life.
So how
everything in moderation.
This article is a review article about a case study on Animal Crossing New Horizons, but from your personal perspective, how has it specifically helped you through the pandemic?
Well, it's been really good because it's tough out there, you guys. It's tough. And when you come home and you play Animal Crossing, it's this little joyful moment. There's only happiness in Animal Crossing. There is only joy in Animal Crossing. There is just, it's impossible to play that game and also feel sad or think about pain, or it's just something that brightens me, and I love it.
It's great. Anyways, that's our Game Science segment. Thanks for weighing in on that, Shalene. We do have another segment before we head on into what the community is playing and our gameplay, capping the rest of the show off, and that is our Fallout segment. And Shalene, are you driving this segment for us?
Indeed. Welcome to that Fallout segment.
we still kept the acronym TFS.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
That Fallout segment. So we're going to talk about the most recent Inside the Vault. These are Fallout 76 updates, by the way. If some other Fallout related things come up, we will cover them as well. But today the news is in Fallout 76. So I wanted to talk about the most recent Inside the Vault, in which they have revealed Season 7, which is Dr. Zorbo's Revenge. So Dr. Zorbo was the antagonist of the very first scoreboard when Fallout 76 introduced seasons. And you were playing as Captain Cosmos, trying to defeat Dr. Zorbo to get to the end of the scoreboard. So this is a fun, like, space and alien themed scoreboard. I love the key art. It's really good. And if you go and scroll down to see the scoreboard itself, the game board, there's some really fun henchmen that Dr. Zorbo has. He's got General Confusion, which is just a very clever name, and Octosaw, which is an octopus with a space helmet on. And then my favorite one is the Baron von Longneck, who is a giraffe wearing a cravat.
What?
Yes, look at this giraffe. He's wearing a cravat. It's brilliant.
Nice.
I love him. I love him. And Skell Scream, who looks little spooky there with his little skull. So as always, the season features 100 ranks and a whole bunch of rewards. Those rewards are pretty similar to some of the ones from the previous seasons. Let me just, there we go. You've got things like gold bullion, supply packages, atoms, things like that. There are some weapon skins. The rank 5 reward is a slot machine, which looks like a lot of fun.
Oh.
And the slot machine, you can put this up at your camp and you can actually win caps by playing the slot machine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think that looks really fun. There are some Zayden alien themed things, some Dr. Zorbo themed rewards like backpack flares, a poster, power armor paints, player icons. And one of my favorite items is an Octosaw plushie. So it's a plushie
Aw.
of that little octopus with the bubble on his head. It's so cute. And there are 2 new allies, Catherine Swan, and I've forgotten the name of the other person. Zirzo. He is a ghoul who claims to be an alien. So that should be interesting times. There's an alien shooting gallery, and there's a bubble machine, Wavy Willard bubble machine, and it's like an octopus with tentacles and bubbles come out of the tentacles. I'm such a fan of it. Such a fan of it. And my favorite thing for the whole scoreboard is the Starscape decor set. There's a Starscape floor and foundations and a Starscape wallpaper set that you can get at rank 72 and 82 respectively. And I just want to build a little space room in one of my vaults, and it's going to be beautiful. And of course, you can get a fun Dr. Zorbo outfit and helmet, which is really cool. And rank 98 is an Order of Mystery set where you can build an Order of Mystery themed house. So that's always fun. So of course, it's the same kind of thing as ever. You earn score by doing challenges, etc., etc. I think the new allies look like a lot of fun. Some of the rewards look a lot of fun. For me, the standout is that Starscape set. And there are some radio plays to add a little bit of lore to the season.
Oh.
So the first 2 parts are out. They're about 15-minute radio plays. So you can check those out, and that adds a little bit of lore to Dr. Zorbo's scoreboard. And they've also released an updated community calendar. So just to give you the overview of this community calendar, I feel like it's a little disappointing, this community calendar. We've got coming December 8th, the Night of the Moth update, which is the new seasonal event and a bunch of quality of life improvements that we talked about a couple of shows ago. Mm-hmm. Those quality of life improvements are going to be fantastic. They're very important. The Night of the Moth event looks like a fun time. In January, we're going to have Foshnot back. So yay, Foshnot. And February, they're doing a Camp Creations feature for Valentine's love-themed creations. And of course, throughout each month, there are events going on like Treasure Hunter, Hunt for the Treasure Hunter, Purveyor Sales, Script Surplus, Double Mutations Weekend, that kind of thing. And in March, what they have is new update, season, and seasonal event. They're just not telling us what it is. I think so that when they have to push it back, we won't be disappointed.
I mean, you're probably right.
Nice
You're
call.
definitely not
Yeah.
wrong. Yeah.
Pretty sure that's why they chose to be so vague there.
Mm-hmm.
But we are only a week away from the Night of the Moth update, and you can check out a developer deep dive on that on Bethesda.net. There is, yes, no problem. There is a great video walking you through some of that. And the Mothman Equinox is what the seasonal event is called. It will bring you up close and personal with the Mothman cult as you aid the enlightened in a ritual to summon the wise Mothman to Point Pleasant. And the quality of life improvements that are coming along with this are stupendous. Nearby corpse looting, legendary loot sharing, and so much more. These are going to make a lot of the really fussy problems with gameplay go away. There'll be no more hoping we get a shot in on the legendary. If you're in the area, you get the reward. So that's all going to be great. And I'm looking forward to it for sure. So
what part are you most looking forward to, Shalene?
The new event in Point Pleasant. I want some new content for Fallout 76, you know? I want that new content, and they're adding some bits of lore into the town of Point Pleasant. So I look forward to having a reason to explore and read terminals and search for little scraps of paper and just get that new content and learn a little bit more about the cult of the Mothman, and it's going to be good times. I'm also looking forward to the fact that you get XP now, even if you don't get a hit on the enemies, as long as you're close. So this is going to hopefully slow the gap between Archon and I's leveling. He levels so much faster than I do because he kills things and I pick flowers. So I should get credit for the work that he does, which is great, you know, because his victories are my victories. My losses are his losses. That's how this works. So
actually, that does tend to work. Your losses are our losses, because when you die, it usually involves us trying to save you and then subsequently dying as well. So that part you are 100%.
except for the time when Shalene won a passive PUBG for our team.
Yes, and also we can't forget about the time that I led us to victory in Hunt Showdown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was brilliant. That's all I have for that Fallout segment, you guys.
Well, that sounds fantastic, Shalene. We do
Looking
have
forward to hopping back in next week.
Yeah, and we are going to share a little bit of gameplay from the community now. Welcome to What You're Playing, community screenshots and stories. If you would like to share your screenshots and stories, all you have to do is go to our Discord and drop your screenshots and or stories into that channel, and we will share them on the show, recognizing that I have a display capture up here, so let me just turn that off quickly. I do have some screenshots here. This one comes from Vodka Knockers, and he says, Fire and Gasoline and I want to wish the WJLG crew a very happy 100th Gamestack episode. Some proper fireworks were due to celebrate. And this is a really great photo. I don't know if you guys can see it all that well, but on the left, so they're on the roof of some building, and across it says, Congrats Gamestack. And then on the left side, there's a dumpster fire.
Yes.
Oh,
isn't it great?
I see that now.
And then behind the dumpster fire, there is a light up sort of Broadway sign that says WJLG, and there's a cat on top of it.
I'm sure the cat is Maisie. I think it's got to be a memorial to Maisie the cat.
Yes.
Maybe.
Also, want to recognize that Rick's chair is there with balloons tied to it in the very front.
This is so full of Easter eggs.
Not to mention the nuclear explosion happening in the background. I'm sure that is some sort of foreshadowing or maybe a metaphor for shows past gone.
And these are us, right? The Vault Girl and the Vault Boy and the Vendertron?
Correct.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I the timing, like how long did they have to sit? Did they launch that nuke themselves? Did
I
they
have
to
no
like
idea.
I would assume they launched the nuke
and then
themselves
waited?
because it's perfectly centered.
Yeah.
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 So,
Anyways, great addition, guys.
beautiful.
Thank you for
Thank
that
you.
for that beautiful artwork. We've got another screenshot here. This one is from. Oh gosh, this one's from Mr. Pheasant, our new member in the Discord. Says this is one fancy ghoul, and they sent us a lovely potato screenshot of their monitor that they took, and the ghoul has a very sort of, nonchalant, ostentatious pose with their weapon. These two photos are from Joshy. Joshy says, so I haven't been playing a lot of games since I've been remaking and optimizing the maps for one of the Pathfinder games, but here's one that I remade. So he shares a picture of this map and then also this other one, which looks to be some sort of like courtyard with some tables and chairs and things like that. And for those of you interested in getting involved in a Pathfinder campaign, Joshy does have a small message for you that I would like to share. And he says, this is the basic outline for the Pathfinder game Dungeons and Dragons that will be started on December 15th, playing the second Sunday of the month. Before then, we will be holding a character creation / learning the virtual tabletop program, and it involves him helping folks with what they need. It's sort of a get-together, a learning of the virtual tabletop program, Foundry, and general assistance in all things. He says, join us in the channel Joshy Theater 3000 on Thursday, December 9th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and they're still looking for 2 to 3 more players. And then as a more broad announcement, the town of Sandpoint needs you. He says, what point? Sand who? What who? If the name of this friendly little coastal town doesn't mean anything to you yet, never fear, Sandpoint is your new hometown maybe. Here, you'll make friends, buy their armor, visit taverns, and eventually tangle with monsters. The adventures you're about to embark on will determine the fate of not just Sandpoint, but the surrounding region of Varisia as well. If you fail, their friends and countrymen might well be doomed to a new age of torment and horror, but if they succeed, their triumphs shall be recorded for the sages and kings, their immortality assured. So that's his little thing about Pathfinder. If you're interested, please do join our Discord. You can access it at twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames and find the Joshy channel under WJLG events. And last but certainly not least, 4 Mile sent us some screenshots.
Yay!
Yeah, it looks like she's fired up Arc again. And she sent us some cool pictures, some very colorful pictures. Looks like she's crouching and giving a little kiss to her dinosaur here. She also sent this one of her giant pink, I believe that's a parasaur, in amongst her her apple blossom. Are those apple blossom trees? Or cherry blossom, maybe?
Looks like cherry blossom to me. They're beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And then she also sent this one, which is an addition to Arc. The T-Rex inflatable suit is now a thing in Arc.
Perfection.
So
I missed that game.
That's screenshots and stories. And let's roll into what we're playing. Rick, what have you been up to?
Well, I've been rage quitting Kingdom Come.
Oh, no.
I got pretty good at the combat, so I started practicing more with NPCs and learning combat and stuff. And I loaded it up one day and was like, you know what, I'm going to do some ancient maps. I have these ancient maps that lead to treasure, so I was like, I'll go do some of that. So it's like the Skyrim maps. If you remember the Skyrim treasure maps, it's that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I went up and I was looking around and I found this one treasure and I dug it up and I was like, oh, cool, I have this warhorse. It's like it puts together this warhorse armor outfit. And I put on the warhorse hat or, helmet and faceplate and stuff. And the first time I ever put on a helmet with a faceplate, in the character screen, you see it with the faceplate down. And I went to go fight something. I don't know if I said the story or not, but I went to go fight something. And when I hit one to pull out my sword, my character goes shirk and lowers the faceplate. So I just have this like tank view of everything. I'm like, oh, this game is insane. So after I found the treasure, I was like, I need to clear out this bandit camp for Captain Bernard. So I travel across the map and I get up on this bandit camp and I kill all 5 of these guys like nothing. Like just I'm deflecting blocks and stabbing and deflecting and stabbing, and I have a sword called Stinger,
Mm-hmm.
and it's some of the swords are just named that, and it's really good for the stabbing damage, not so good for slashing. And it's crazy. The game is so in depth that it's like if you block with the sword or slash with the sword that's meant for stabbing, it dulls it faster than using it for its thing, which makes sense.
Interesting.
But you're like, really? Like, do we have to go that far?
Mm-hmm.
So if I ever fight like a big knight in armor, I end up using an axe because battle axes are just so much more efficient on guys that have just armor. Because with armor, you have to like aim for the mail. You have to aim for the under the arm or the head, the neck. You can't. It's hard to fight them. So anyway, I killed this bandit camp. And I raid their stashes. I cut off all their ears and steal their spurs to turn in as bounties. And I'm sitting by the fire, and I just eaten out of their soup pot. And I was like, I think I'm going to sleep and save here, because that's the thing the game does. You sleep and you save. So I'll sleep and save till the morning, and then get up in the morning, and I fast travel back to Rete, which is where I turn all the trophies. And on the way there, it's like, you see an armed person on the road. So I was like, I'll scout it out. And I'm looking. I see one guy, I see another guy, and I see 3 guys. I was like, all right, I think there's 3 guys here. I'll shoot an arrow. I'll start this. It's just 3 guys. And I shoot an arrow, and 5 guys run out in full armor, and I hear a dog barking. And I'm like, oh, gosh. Because dogs are the worst. They'll grab your arm, and you got to, like, beat them in the head with a shield.
What? That's
'Cause
terrible.
Well, it's attacking you. What are you going
Right.
to do?
We'll
And
just assume that they're feral ghoul dogs, Shalene.
No, they're like
That will make it
floofy
better.
They're floofy little gray dogs.
No, they're floofy.
They are floofy. And they're trying to tear my arm off, so I'm beating them in the head, and they run away before I can stab them. And then they come back and grab my arm again, so I'm doing that. Meanwhile, these guys are cutting at me and hitting my armor, and it's just a cluster. And so I died because it's the game's hard. And when the game reloads, it loaded me back before I started even the treasure hunts of that day. Like an hour and a half to 2 hours lost of gameplay because of that death. And I'm like,
Goodness.
what the frick happened? I slept. And then when I realized that sometimes when you sleep, it doesn't save. And sometimes, like, there's certain beds that say sleep and save, and there's certain beds that say sleep. So
Oh
that's
no.
stupid game. So I rage quit.
I think there's one thing that Shalene and I are wondering, though, and that is, how is the priest doing?
Oh, he's fine. Every time I visit him, he's like, "Hey, Henry."
Your character's name is Henry?
Yes, the character's name is Henry. If
Oh.
that's not the least badass name ever.
Do you get to
So,
choose
like,
that name, or is it assigned?
No. It's just it's a story about this blacksmith's boy. So there's no character customization. It's just you are Henry.
Okay.
And
okay.
you don't know anything, and you just have to become better. So I love that they're like, let's call him Henry, because it's
So
like,
you know nothing, Henry? It
I-
doesn't have the same ring.
Yeah.
no, that's what I mean. Like, and like you play Skyrim, you're like, my character's name is Thirundil,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's a high elf and mage. And it's
Thirundil
like,
of Thor's hammer.
and as you're walking around in Skyrim, you'll be like, oh, look, there's an NPC named Henry, where in this game, you are that NPC.
I love it. So Archon
Ar-
says you need to make some save schnapps. Is that a thing?
Yes.
You can
in
drink
order to
schnapps to save.
In order to
It sounds
save
like
it-
my kind of game.
save when you want, have to drink save schnapps, and it will make you a little drunk in the game.
Snape shops. Snape shops. Shave schnapps.
I think you've saved enough, Bender.
Shave schnapps.
And
No, don't shave.
so-
Don't shave schnapps.
Is shave schnapps a Manscaped product?
It's the DLC for Earth Defense Force 5.
So, but the thing is like, yeah, you have it, but I had thought that I had saved right before I did that battle when I slept. So, or else I would have used the schnapps to save, 'cause that's what I do. But it's limited quantities. So either you have to find the right ingredients and go through that whole friggin' process to brew your own save schnapps, or you find it randomly, or you're romantic interest gives them to you, like she gave me 3 of them.
Goodness.
So I've been playing that. I've been playing Forza, and I did beat my boss, his rival lap time. I beat him by 0.005 seconds on his lap.
Oh, you did, because the last time
And
you were
I-
saying like you
and I couldn't do
you
it.
tried for like 2 hours
And so then I went in the next day at work. I was like, "Hey man, I got you," and we were talking about it a little bit. And that night he texted me. He's like, "I beat you by 0.004." And I was like, "Dang it!"
God damn it.
So what I'm gonna do, because he plays with, you can really change the way that game feels, and I play it with like simulated steering, no traction control, no stability control.
So
I do have
play it
anti-lock
on
brakes.
VR then?
No, I use a controller just
Oh,
right here. On my
okay,
screen.
okay.
And I have a manual transmission. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set it to like all of the assists that he has, which is I think he does standard steering, traction controls on, stability controls on, ABS is on, and it's automatic. So if I do that, I could probably get better lap times because I'm not worried about spinning out and doing all these other crazy things. But
Mhm.
it's so funny. I know which corners he beats me on. It's corners 1 and 2 and 4 and 6, or 4 and 5. Nope, 5 and 6. So he has me on corners 1 and 2
He's
and
got
5
it
and
mapped
6.
out in his head.
And
Do you go to
I
bed
don't
at
wa-
night?
I've done that.
Do you go
I've
bed
done
at
that
night
course
just thinking about the
so
track?
much. Well, this is why I like racing sims. I like memorizing the tracks
Yeah.
and knowing when to corner. But he just does these 2 corners that in such a speed. I don't know how the heck he does it. So I have some catching up to do.
I
But that's
really want
pretty
to
much-
jump. I really want to jump into Forza.
It's fun. This new one's a lot of fun. I think the dirt racing, like the rally cross, is where the game shines. The way the cars feel, it's fun when you're going through like trees and you're flicking your car left and right to like keep on the track, and it's a lot of fun. But I also play
good.
sitting in the car, so my view is the steering wheel and just that part of the car. I don't play with and you see the entire car. I don't know why I do that to myself, but
So
like
next
there's
time-
times
next
where I
time
have
you
to learn how to
Next time you
What?
see him, you can just be like, "Well, I'll blue shell you later."
I wish I had a blue shell for this. But anyway, so that's pretty much what I've been playing. What about you, Vendu?
Well, FS22 dropped on November 22nd, and we switched our Farm Sim server over to FS22. We are on this map called Ellengrot. It's a German map, and it's a small town situated in 360 degrees of mountain ranges, which, as you can imagine, is like my haven. I bought this little plot of land as far south as possible on the edge of the map, and it's just like a barren piece of land, and I had to develop it completely. In Farm Sim, you can buy some sort of pre-made lots, but I decided to start from scratch. So it actually meant putting down some concrete pads, building some buildings, plowing, and creating all of the fields that I want to create. This game, I have to say, and applaud Giant, because it has launched very smoothly. It's really nice. There are some kinks in terms of the UI, but well, not that kind. Okay, there's some issues with the UI, as well as some things that seem to be missing from the game. But I'm not really fretting about it. I do believe that it's gonna get better, and they're gonna patch it and fix those things. It meets my standard of good at launch, comparing it to other games that have not been good at launch. So, I mean, it's sort of a reiteration of FS 15, 17, 19, so they've had some practice to kind of get it good, but the graphics really are what define this edition of the game. It's really lots of fun. You can grow your own vineyards. I have bees.
You have bees?
I have
An apiary?
bees. They're so cute. I've got them on the edges of my field, and they make honey for me. I've got a greenhouse. I'm growing tomatoes. I'm growing lettuce. I'm growing
Aw.
strawberries. And then I load them up on my truck, and I bring them down to the farmer's market, and I sell them for like nothing because it's not very lucrative. It's actually literally 4 miles farm. Yeah. Like, if she's seen it, she'd be like, "Oh my God, that's my house minus the bees." But Yeah. So I'm enjoying Farm Sim. Been playing it a lot with Raven. I'm super embarrassed to disclose this next bit of gameplay. I've hopped back into Fun Run 3, which is a mobile game. And I've talked about it on the show before.
You've liked it.
Carlo and I played a lot, and I just decided one day, we decided when I was over there, that we were just gonna like fire it up and start playing it again. And I've been playing it like all week. It is so much fun. I love it. There's all this new content since the last time I played. There's new outfits. The hats. There are so many hats. I've got a towel. My outfit is a towel. I wear a towel, and I have little slippers that are monster feet.
That's so cute.
And I've got a toque on my head and these giant cat eye sunglasses. And I just run through the tracks. It's so much fun. I love it. It's so great. I'm going to go back to streaming it as well. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to say before we move on to you, Shalene. I did a stream today. I did a work stream. So I looked at my calendar today and I didn't have any meetings. And I was like, I got to analyze data. You know what? I'm going to try streaming this. And so I streamed like the top down like of my desk of me working, but I didn't actually show like what was on my screen because the data that I was working with was confidential, right? And you couldn't really make out through the webcam like what was actually on the screen. It was just sort of like blocks and it just looked busy and stuff. But it was really cool. I started at about 9 a.m. and I did a full day's work. It was a 7.5-hour stream. I stopped at about 4 o'clock, and like there was people there all day, like coming in and out. Tim was there, and Kiwi was there. Taz was there. Joshy hung out for most of the afternoon as well. It was so much fun. I got a lot of work done. These people helped. They are my bosses. They kept me accountable. Yeah, it was really cool. It was kind of nice to do. I think I'm going to try to do that some more when I don't have any work meetings. But what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, I had people from all over the world. I had Kiwi from New Zealand. I have Eli from Australia. Dang Dog from Scotland. Frankles Kaninina was in there from the UK. We had somebody else was in there from Sweden. It was kind of cool. So yeah.
Nice.
Anyways, what have you been up to, Shalene?
I have not played a video game since the last time we did a podcast.
Oh wow.
Wow, that's a
Yeah.
first.
I think so.
I'm just having one of those times
Okay.
where I'm,
Yeah.
you know, we've talked about this in the past. Sometimes you have those times when you're not really playing games. I'm kind of having one of those times where I'm not really super into anything right now. Like
Yeah.
when I get home from work, I just like collapse on the couch and sob.
Oh, wait, I think I have a
I have crippling depression.
That's the one.
That's the
yes.
one. Okay,
That's
there we go.
The one. Yes. But no video games. But I have been watching the Wheel of Time show. It's
Right.
really good. Very excited about it. That's one of my favorite book series of all time. And I'm really enjoying the show. They have made some changes from the books, but nothing that's made me angry, which is pretty rare in book adaptations. I'm almost always angry. But I'm enjoying this. And I'm also reading a book about Celtic folklore that I'm enjoying a lot. So that's really fun.
Cool. I have yet to watch Wheel of Time. I think Carlo and I are going to start it this weekend.
Yeah.
It's worth it. It's good.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it.
it's great.
Yes.
Well, guys, that's a show. Do you guys
Okay.
have any plugs or announcements before we close out?
No.
Take care of yourselves, everybody.
Don't forget, if you're interested in getting involved in a campaign, Joshy Neurotic will be looking for people on December 9th, I believe it was. Was it December 9th? Let me just double check that time. December 9th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in the Joshy Theater 3000 channel in our community Discord. If you have not joined our Discord, scroll down right below Rick there. You can join that. Don't forget, the show is sponsored by Oak and Crow Coffee. If you go over to oakandcrow.com, click on the Artist Blend page, scroll down to the bottom, you will find We Just Love Coffee Blend, which is a beautiful bag of coffee beans, and $2 from every bag goes to the Children's Miracle Network. If you would like to... Go ahead, Rick.
I was going to say, speaking of beautiful bags, WJLG and manscaped.com get you 20% off and free shipping worldwide. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yes, thank you. If you would like to write into the show, we love to hear your thoughts or your stories and what you have to say. We will read them out on the show. Send us an email at info@wejustlovegames.com. You can find Shalene on Twitter at ShaleneL, myself at VendertronN, and our network account at We Just Love Games. We have a Facebook presence as well, facebook.com/WeJustLoveGames, facebook.com/groups/WeJustLoveGames. We record the show live 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. We're on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and any other podcast platform that you can think of. Please like, subscribe, and review the show, and we will shout you out. Thank you all for listening. Do either of you have a last word?
I forgot that was a thing.
Good night, guys.